Hello, welcome back. I'm John, an old YouTuber. This door needs to be open so I can get some fresh air. It's 7 p.m. and I did finish read about the Leopard 2 tanks. And this Leopard 2 tank from Germany we will hear about in the media the next many years, because this tank is going to Ukraine, to the war against Russia. So that's, I will see a lot of video, like in 1 or 2 months this Leopard 2 tanks will be on the battlefield in Ukraine, the front line. The German government have just give permission to the older Leopard 1 can be exported to Ukraine too. So that's 90 pages and it's 7 p.m. so let's read about it. Find a lot more. I find download, I did look the Leopard 2 PDF. I did find the T-90 tank from Russia there. But and I have to delete. I have to delete all. That's the one I did find there. The T-64, 62, 80. That's Russia tanks. T-14 Armata Russian, and the Turkey tanks, LT. All M60s and 2 different kinds of Swedish tanks. Stridsvagn 103, 122. I defined the cannon, the Rheinmetall 120mm cannon. And another tank there, but we cannot read everything. And I delete all World War I PDF because to get room for this. So I have everything here. I have everything here. That's the company did build the Leopard 1 and Rheinmetall. That's the engine, this MTU making the Friedrichshafen, making the engine. That's the Russian T-90, but let's start. I need a minute to do myself ready in my bed. So let's read it, then I'm finished for today to record video. I don't think I'm not playing World of Tanks today. I made an account today. I made an account with email and everything, email and passwords. I made an account and actually I did add a credit card to my account too. But I'm not going to buy gold in World of Tanks, not right now.
Leopard 1. Kampfpanzer Leopard 1 Leopard 1A5.jpg. German Leopard 1A5 at the 2015 Military Day in Uffenheim. Type main battle tank. Place of origin West Germany. Service history. In service 1965. Present wars Bosnian War, Kurdish-Turkish conflict, war in Afghanistan. Production history. Designer Porsche designed 1956-1961. Manufacturer Krauss-Maffei Automelera produced 1965-1984. No build 6,5654,744. Main battle tanks 1,741. Utility and anti-aircraft vehicles 80. Prototypes and pre-series vehicles. Specifications: mass 42.2 tons. Increased on later models from original 40.0 tons. 1. The Kampfpanzer Leopard 1. also styled Leopard I before the Leopard II, simply known as the Kampfpanzer Leopard, is a main battle tank designed by Porsche and manufactured by Krauss Mafia in West Germany, first entering service in 1965. Developed in an era when heat warheads were out to make conventional heavy armor of limited value, the Leopard design focused on effective firepower and mobility instead of heavy protection. It featured moderate armor, only effective against low-caliber autocannons and heavy machine guns, giving it a high power-to-weight ratio. This, coupled with a modern suspension and drivetrain, gave the Leopard superior mobility and cross-country performance compared to most other main battle tanks of the era, only being rivaled by the French AMX-30 and Swedish Stuff 103. The main armament of the Leopard consisted of a German license-built version of the British Royal Ordnance L7 105mm rifled gun, one of the most effective and widespread tank guns of the era. The design started as a collaborative project during the 1950s between West Germany and France, and later joined by Italy. But the partnership ended shortly after, and the final design was ordered by the Bundeswehr, with full-scale production starting in 1965. In total 6,485 Leopard tanks have been built, of which 4,744 were battle tanks and 1,741 were utility and anti-aircraft variants, not including 80 prototypes and pre-series vehicles. The Leopard quickly became a standard of many European militaries, and eventually served as the main battle tank in over a dozen countries worldwide, with West Germany, Italy and the Netherlands being the largest operators until their retirement. Since 1990, the Leopard I has gradually been relegated to secondary roles in most armies. In the German army, the Leopard I was completely phased out in 2003 by the Leopard II, while Leopard I-based vehicles are still widely used in utility roles. The Leopard II has replaced the Leopard I in service with many other nations, with derived vehicles using the Leopard I hull still seeing service. Currently, the largest operators are Greece, with 520 vehicles, Turkey. Length 9.54/8.29 m. Gun forward/rearward, width 3.37 m. Height 2.39/2.70 m. Turret roof forward/absolute. Crew 4, commander, driver gunner, radio operator forward/loader, armor steel. 1070mm Romain armament 105mm Royal Ordnance L7 a 3L /52 rifle gun, 13 rounds in turret, 42 rounds in hull. Secondary armament 27.62mm MG3 Orphanmug, coaxial and commander's hatch, 5,500 rounds. Engine MTU MB 838 CAM 500, 10-cylinder. 37.4 liters, multi-fuel engine 830 PS, 819 HP, 610 kilowatts, at 2,200 RPM. Power forward/weight 19.6 PS, 14.5 kilowatts, /. Tonner suspension torsion bar. Operational range 600 km, on road, 450 km. Cross country, maximum speed 65 km /h. With 397 vehicles, Brazil with 378 vehicles and Chile with 202 vehicles. Most of these vehicles have been upgraded with various improvements to armor, firepower and sensors to maintain their ability to engage modern threats. Development history. Leopard 1. A Leopard I prototype. The Leopard project started in November 1956 in order to develop a modern tank, the Standard Panzer, to replace the Bundeswehr's American-built M47 and M48 Patton tanks, which, though just delivered to West Germany's recently reconstituted army, were rapidly becoming outdated. On the 25th of July 1957, the detailed specifications were released. The new design needed to no more than 30 tons, have a power-to-weight ratio of 30 horsepower per ton, be able to withstand its by 20 mm rapid-fire guns on every side, as well as to operate in a battlefield contaminated with chemical weapons or radioactive fallout. The then standard E-baseline for combat with the Warsaw Pact. 2. The main armament had to consist of a 105 mm caliber weapon. The new British L7 A3 105 mm gun was selected, carrying at least as many rounds as current US tank designs. Mobility had priority, while firepower came second. Armor was seen as less essential, as it was believed that no real protection against hollow-charge weapons was possible anyway. At the time it was suspected that future conflicts would involve nuclear weapons, which no tank at the time could directly protect from. 2. France was very interested in the design as its own AMX-50 projects had just failed. In June 1957, West Germany and the French Fourth Republic signed an agreement to develop a common tank designated in German Europa Panzer. 3 German, albeit Gruppe B and C, and 1 French design team were included in a competition, with each team producing 2 prototypes. In September 1958, Italy joined the development program. Several prototypes were entered for testing in 1960. Among the prototypes were Porsche's Model 734 from Team A sporting a cast turret, and that of Team B, Rheinmetall, whose cast turret was somewhat higher. Team C from Borgwood, designing a very futuristic tank, failed to have a prototype ready in time. Even before these first prototypes were finished, it had, in 1959, been decided that a second phase with improved designs would be started. Team A had to build 26 Phase 2 prototypes for testing. Team B6. Only 2 tanks of the required 6 were constructed by Team B. A Leopard 1 prototype I, the Porsche Prototype 2, was eventually selected as the winner of the contest in 1963. This did not come as a surprise. It had already been decided in 1961 to build a pre-series of 50 vehicles based on this design. Production of these was started that very year. This 0 series was modified with a new cast turret and several hull changes to raise the rear deck to provide more room in the engine compartment and move some of the radiators to the upper sides of the hull. Before mass production of the standard version started, it was decided to add an optical range-finding system for better long-range gunnery, which required the turret to be somewhat taller, and added bumps on either side of the turret to mount the optics for triangulation. Germany dropped France from the joint program after France repeatedly missed deadlines for its contribution to the program. 3. In February 1963, Defense Minister Kaya von Hassel announced he would soon ask the Defense Committee in Parliament to approve production of the tank. At this time the tank weighed 40 tons and cost $250,000 each. 3. In July the Defense Ministry ordered 1,500 tanks with production to take place between 1965 and 1970. Germany also announced its agreement to develop a successor with the United States. Called the MBT-70. The program failed to materialize a tenable design. 4. Production was set up at Krauss-Maffei of Munich from early 1964 onward, with deliveries of the first batch between September 1965 and July 1966. The Leopard was soon being purchased from Germany by a number of NATO members and other allies, including, in chronological order, Belgium, 1968, the Netherlands, 1969, Norway, 1970, Italy, 1971, Denmark, 1976, Australia, 1976, Canada, 1978, Turkey, 1980, and Greece, 1981. It is also key to note that Germany has a strict export policy for their military equipment. Greece, Spain and Chile, while still under dictatorships, purchased the French AMX-30 instead. Leopard 101. A German Army Leopard 101, a Norwegian Army Leopard 101. After the first batch was delivered, the next 3 batches were the Leopard 101 model, which included a new gun stabilization system from Cadillac gauge that allowed the tank to fire effectively on the move. The 101 added the now famous skirts along the sides to protect the upper tracks, and a new thermal jacket on the gun barrel to control heating. A less important change was to use rectangular rubber blocks fastened to the treads with a single pin instead of the earlier 2-pin shaped versions. The rubber blocks could be easily replaced with metal X-shaped crampons for movement on icy and snow in the winter. Between 1974 and 1977, all of the machines in the first 4 batches were brought to the same Leopard 101 standard, and given additional turret armor developed by Blom and Voss. An upgrade in the 1980s added leftover image intensifier night sights which were being handed down from the Leopard 2 as they were themselves upgraded. The PZB-200 image intensification system was mounted in a large box on the upper right of the gun, creating the Leopard 101-2. An upgrade with SEM80/90 all-digital radios created the Leopard 101-3. Latter improvements to the image intensifier created the Leopard 101-4. Leopard 102. A Leopard 102 crossing a river at night. The first 232 tanks of the 5th production batch were delivered as Leopard 102 between 1972 and 1974. The A2 included a heavier and better armored turret, and therefore did not receive the B and V armor add-ons as did the earlier machines. They received other upgrades. The Leopard 102A1 received the PZB-200, the Leopard 102A2 received digital radios, and the Leopard 102A3 got both. Leopard 103. The next 110 vehicles in the 5th batch were fitted with a new welded turret, which was equipped with a new armor consisting of 2 spaced steel plates with a plastic filling between them, high hardness armor, and a wedge-shaped gun mantlet, creating the Leopard 103. Although the level of armor area density was equivalent to the A2's new welded version, the internal volume was increased by 1.2 cubic meter and the effective protection level was increased by half. The improved TRP-2AM independent sight was installed for the Commander. Upgrades were identical to the 102 models. The Leopard 103A1 with the night sights, Leopard 103A2 with new radios, and the Leopard 103A3 with both. Leopard 104. The Leopard 104 formed the 6th batch of 250 vehicles, starting delivery in 1974. The 104 was externally similar to the 103, but included a new computerized fire control system and the new EMS-12A1 sighting system to aim it. The commander was provided with his own independent night sighting system, the Para-12. The new equipment used up space and the ammunition load was reduced to 55 rounds, of which 42 were stored in the magazine to the left of the driver. Leopard 105. A Brazilian Army Leopard 105B a tank. In 1980, a research program was undertaken to study further improvements to the Leopard 1, providing it with a completely modern fire control system and fully effective night forward/bad weather vision system. The decision was made to base the upgrades on the earlier models, which were no longer competitive. The resulting Leopard 105 was based on 1,225 vehicles of the Leopard 101 model. The turrets were again modified for the 105. both in order to store all of the new equipment, as well as to move more of the ammunition into the rear of the turret, as opposed to the left side of the driver where it had previously been stored. The new turret was able to mount the newer 120mm gun from the Leopard 2 if desired, although this option has not been used. After trials, the Krupp Atlas Electronic EMS-18 fire control system, which was developed from the EMES-15 used on the Leopard 2, was selected in December 1983. The EMS-18 included 2 new sights and the top of the turret,